Coming up on this edition of Sbu TV News, we'll tell you how to stay warm during these chilly winter months and stay safe during your spring break trip.
Welcome to Sbu TV News. I'm Chelsea Eggleston.
And I'm Jeff Landers. A gunman shot 22 people in a Northern Illinois University lecture hall. Rob Cannon has the latest.
Thursday afternoon, some students at Northern Illinois University, located outside Chicago, fell victim to a shooting.
Someone dressed in black came out from behind a screen in front of the classroom and opened fire with a shotgun.
Well, we were just in there taking notes, and then there's two doors on the stage where the professor teaches, and the professor was on the left-hand side, and the shooter, he came out the right-hand door, and immediately just started pointing the gun and shooting at everybody.
6 people were killed, including the gunman who took his own life.
A lecture hall such as this one was the scene of the shooting. At least 16 other students were injured, including a graduate student who was teaching an ocean sciences class. For Sbu TV, I'm Rob Cannon.
Latest reports say the death toll has reached 7. Official school events and classes were canceled until further notice, and hundreds of students have gone home to see their parents.
Imagine you can give a gift that might save up to 3 lives. Here in Allegany, dozens gave very personal gifts this week. Kaitlin Dean has more.
The American Red Cross held a blood drive at St. Bonaventure University February 11th and 12th. The drive was held here in the lobby of Shea Laughlin Hall.
In every 2 seconds, there's one person in the United States that is receiving a blood transfusion. And 1 out of 3 people in their lifetime will receive at least 1 blood transfusion.
It's a very rewarding experience because you save many lives, and the Red Cross will send you letters saying who you have saved and how many people you saved.
There were 56 donors and 53 units of blood were collected, according to the American Red Cross in Olean. A representative for the Red Cross said this is a little lower than what is typically collected from a drive, 30 units a day, but they thought it was due to poor weather. To be eligible for donating, you must be healthy, weigh at least 110 pounds, and not have donated blood for at least 8 weeks.
According to the American Red Cross, for a good donation experience, you should get plenty of sleep the night before, drink plenty of water, and have a good breakfast or lunch.
The most needed is O negative, because that is the universal donor, and that can be given to anybody.
One young man had donated 5 or 6 times before.
I donate because I know that blood banks need it, and I know that I'm capable of giving it, so I feel like it's only right that I do.
Any advice for those who have never donated?
I would say that it's not that big of a deal, and just sit back and relax and let the nurses do the work.
I would try to talk them into doing it. Maybe someday they'll need a blood transfusion thing, and so maybe they'll need blood too.
Not as many people donate blood as you might think.
A fact that's really kind of scary is that only 5% of the possible donors in the world donate.
For Sbu TV, I'm Kaitlin Dean.
To learn more about where you can donate blood, log on to www.givelife.org or call 1-800-448-3543. On February 10th, St. Bonaventure University hosted a panel discussion on the nation's healthcare industry and the possibility of a universal healthcare system. The main question facing the panelists was what role business should play in healthcare.
Do you think that healthcare is a commodity, a good or service that you can buy? And if you can afford more, then you buy more. And if you can afford less, then you make do with less.
Dr. Witte said that as a doctor, he would prefer a federally funded universal health care system.
And we would relish the right to treat our patients without concern for their ability to pay.
Dr. J. Pomerantz said the main barrier to a universal health care program is built from indulgent health care costs.
One of the challenges we have as an American society is we don't believe in solidarity. We want everything that we want it now. And we don't care what it costs as me as an individual. And if someone else doesn't get it, that's their problem right now.
Shawn Sood, a sophomore biology major, gave his perspective on what he would like to see happen in his chosen field.
There would be over 100,000 fewer deaths per year if we had better preventable care measures. The lack of preventive care is ultimately costing our system billions of dollars.
Afterwards, the panel listened to questions and comments from students and community members.
And I'm on Medicare, but I still have a lot of medical expense. I paid $6,500 for my supplemental last year.
How in 2008 and 2009, the next coming years, can we expect change in our healthcare system?
Our government, the people, by the people, and for the people, that still stands, and it's what I still believe after all these years, needs to work that out.
The panel discussion was the second part of a two-day event, including a viewing of Michael Moore's movie Sicko. Even day trips to the closest ski resort can be dangerous in February's chill. I have some tips from the Red Cross that could keep your family safe this season. A wintry mix of whipping wind and bitter cold hit much of western New York this week. With wind chills plummeting, the Red Cross released a list of tips to keep residents safe in these harsh winter months. First, they advise people to dress in many layers before going outdoors. If you feel yourself getting too warm, take one of the layers off. Sweating can be dangerous in low temperatures. They also remind people to wear socks, gloves, and a hat to keep the body insulated. The Red Cross urges everyone to recognize symptoms of hypothermia and frostbite. Confusion, dizziness, exhaustion, and severe shivering are just a few signs of hypothermia. Symptoms of frostbite include gray, white, or yellow skin discoloration, numbness, and blisters. Next, they say to avoid overexertion if you're outside shoveling. Your heart is already working harder in the cold, and adding more stress could lead to a heart attack.
When coming indoors, immediately remove any wet clothing. Warm your body by layering on blankets and dry clothes.
Drinking hot chocolate is another way to warm up. In the cold, avoid alcohol and caffeine beverages. They thin your blood and increase heat loss. For Sbu TV, I'm Chelsea Eggleston. For more information, you can visit www.redcross.org.
The Olean budget may be old news, but there are some new thoughts on how to save some Olean citizens some coin.
The debate is white hot in Olean about the city's proposed budget for the next fiscal year.
The financial crisis in the city of Olean continues.
The city of Olean plans to borrow money to cover its $4.3 million deficit.
The city of Olean back in about 2002 had about $3.8 million in cash. In December of 2005, I predicted that we'd have a deficit of $1.7 million.
With warnings having fallen on deaf ears, Olean was in the hole $4.3 million by 2007. The Common Council voted on a solution on March 27, 2007.
Council unanimously voted to borrow the money and will pay it off over the next 10 years.
Mayor David Carucci has recently submitted a proposal for the budget of the next fiscal year that could raise property taxes by 20%.
Maybe there's some alternatives. Okay, what can we do to save some money instead of increase our taxes a cumulative 60%? So I came up with, we're spending about $3.6 million on our fire department. But some of the interesting statistics to me are the time spent on structural fires is 0.3% of their time. And for some reason, the Common Council members do not even want to discuss it. They won't put it on the agenda.
The mayor was unavailable for comment.
The opportunities for finding someone special online might seem endless, but for young adults, there isn't always a happy ending. Caroline Bayard explains.
Be careful who you meet on the internet because they may not be who they say they are. This warning probably sounds obvious and outdated.
But these days, it's more difficult than ever before to be able to trust people online. Social networking sites allow just about anyone with a computer to pose as your friend.
I don't accept people that I don't know or I haven't met or that aren't my friends' friends.
I always look to see how many friends we have in common.
and usually the creepy ones are nuns.
I'll have the people who think they know me ask me to be their friend, but I don't know them, so I don't like.
Last year, a cruel online prank drove 13-year-old Megan Meyer of Darden Prairie, Missouri, to commit suicide after learning her online crush, a handsome older boy named Josh Evans, didn't really have feelings for her after months of MySpace flirting.
Comments on her pictures, you know, this is beautiful, your eyes are beautiful.
Unfortunately, what Megan also never knew about her new friend, who sent a message to her saying
the world would be a better off place without you,
the day she died, was that Josh Evans was actually Lori Drew, a neighbor of the Meyer family and parent of Megan's childhood friend.
my daughter would have killed herself with a gun. They loaded the gun for her.
Although the circumstances of Megan's tragic story are rare, this kind of online deception happens all the time.
People harass them through MySpace, and kids get messages. People I don't know, like, saying, like, hey, and I'd be like, I don't know you.
Everyone is allowed, and there is no, regulations, really.
All you need to sign up for a Facebook or MySpace account is an email address and password, so the opportunity for online predators to do damage is endless. Caroline Bayard for Sbu TV.
More than 200 million people worldwide are registered for Facebook or MySpace, with new users joining every day.
Spring break is fast approaching for many colleges across the country. For some students, that means carefree partying and beach bathing, but students should be aware of serious dangers while on vacation. Jean Taylor has the story.
In 2005, 18-year-old Natalie Holloway disappeared after leaving a nightclub in Aruba with 3 men she had just met. Last month, the case gained national attention again when a suspect confessed he knew what happened to Holloway to an undercover reporter. The case raises concerns for college students planning to travel during upcoming spring breaks.
Have your guard up a little bit more, and especially after the Natalie Holloway case, like she left the bar with someone she didn't know, and I'm sure at the time she didn't think it was a big deal, and her friends probably didn't think it was either, but you just kind of have to be extra cautious.
Students can take precautions to avoid dangerous situations while away on vacation.
With somebody that you know all the time.
Keeping in touch with my parents.
Watch my drinks, not put a drink down.
Students should always avoid being alone, especially in places like dark parking lots.
Unfortunately, people that they know that people go and party at different areas. The criminals are aware of that, and they take advantage of that.
To some, inviting others into their hotel room doesn't seem like a potential problem.
I'm sure we'll invite a few people that we just meet, come back and have a couple drinks.
Students are warned against allowing others into hotel rooms.
They invite different people, and other people find out about it, and the next thing you know, you get a bunch of people you don't even know.
During spring break trips, male students average 18 alcoholic drinks per day, and females average 10 per day.
Alcohol is a big part of people getting in trouble.
Why do students drink excessively during vacation?
They really don't want to worry about school or work or anything, and they just kind of let loose.
Anyone that you really meet on vacation, you probably won't ever see again, so you're more likely to do things that you normally wouldn't.
It's out of their norm, so they kind of feel uninhibited.
Can a student stay safe, avoid excessive drinking, and still have fun?
Don't take advantage of it, then people can usually have a good time.
For Sbu TV, I'm Jean Taylor.
Some of the most popular spring break locations include Miami Beach, Orlando, Las Vegas, and Cancun, Mexico.
Coming up next, find out some secrets about love you may not know.
Mrs. Abruzzo, I'm Ed McMahon, and we're signing up people for...
Yes,
I am. Yeah. Mr. Murphy, Ed McMahon. We're starting up... No.
Dreams really do come true. Dinero.
No.
Yes,
Ed McMahon, see.
Ed McMahon.
Yes, Ed McMahon. We're having our first ever...
McMahon.
Yes. Tuesday night at the high school. We're starting up the neighborhood watch in this area, and here's all the information.
Stevie, get down here, please.
No, it's just
5, 6, 7, 8.
No tango dinero. Neighborhood watch. We're having this neighborhood watch, the first one. Right.
Larry, put some pants on.
I'll come back.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Help play a part in the safety of your community. To find out how you can start or join a neighborhood watch, log on to usaonwatch.org.
Western New York is a long way from Hollywood, but an Olean native has made his way across the country and is making his mark in Tinseltown.
You bring Charlotte back safe, and I will take you off this island.
Jeff Fahey debuted on ABC's hit television show Lost last week. He plays Frank Lapidus, a reclusive pilot sent on a mission to a mysterious island. Fahey was born in Olean in 1952. He spent 12 years there before moving to Buffalo. Fahey's film and TV credits include Grindhouse, Nash Bridges, The Lawnmower Man, and Silverado. Fahey can be seen in Lost Thursday nights at 9 on Channel 7.
When you run into your crush, do you ever wonder why your heart beats faster, why your face turns the shade of a tomato, or why you get butterflies in your stomach? Amanda Fuller takes a humorous look at how people become loony for love.
It's February and love lingers in the air.
The men I'm usually attracted to have dark hair. Dark eyes, they're funny.
Girls gotta have a fine booty, you know what I'm talking about, a fine booty, and a developed chest.
They have to be tall, and they have to, I don't know, they just have to be tall, I guess.
I like girls who have this thing. When they smile, it actually seems like their face lights up. Like when they smile, their eyes get into it too.
When you snuggle up with that special someone, your infatuation may be deeper than you think.
Really what our attractions are about are sensuality, or our senses. Smell, look, touch, hearing.
These connections start at a young age.
When they're younger, in their middle school years, that type of stuff, start formulating who they think their ideal person would be.
The reason may be closer to home than you'd want to believe.
What we're familiar with is what we're attracted to. So, you know, our family of origin also teaches us what's attractive.
I think as you grow older, you realize that your parents are insane, so you don't want to date someone like them.
And gals tend to wear their hearts on their sleeves.
When somebody hooks up, you know, guys think it's about the physical aspect, women think it's about the relationship a lot of times. Not all women, but a lot of them. And you know, I think there's where the confusion is, okay, is it about the relationship or is it about the physical aspect?
But be careful, if you're under the influence, you may end up not seeing so clearly.
Yeah. How can you know who you're attracted to when you're totally stoned or drunk or whatever? You don't know.
Life looks good, good, good. Billy's got his beer goggles on.
Do you ever get beer goggles when you're drinking?
Yes, I do, but yes.
No.
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 Never.
No. I become attracted to old men when I'm intoxicated.
Oh, I actually have really good beer goggles.
For Sbu TV, I'm Amanda Fuller.
If Bonaventure students are interested in forming a student group to discuss sensuality, contact Dr. Roger Keener at rkeener@sbu.edu.
A Marine gives his kids the ultimate Valentine's Day surprise. Captain Mark Robinson had been away for the last 9 months and couldn't wait to celebrate the holiday with his children. CNN's Dan Caton has the story.
Captain Robinson was greeted at the school by an honor guard, but his children were in classes and knew nothing of his arrival. He was packed into a giant heart to bide his time waiting for the big moment.
I've been away for 9 months. I missed Christmas. I missed at least 2 birthdays. So I want to come back and just reunite with my family.
His daughter Saveda was performing, not knowing her dad was sitting right beside her, while second grader Audrey and pre-K Harrison listened. After a book reading on cue, Captain Robinson called out his children's names.
Audrey, will you be my Valentine? Saveda Minnie, will you be my Valentine?
Then there were hugs and kisses all around as everyone tried to absorb what had just happened. Saveda, not surprisingly, was at a total loss for words. So what did you think when he popped out of the big heart?
I just, inside I was about to just blow up.
And how about Dad? How did it work for you?
Oh, this was great. I didn't think it was going to be this great. Whenever they say that we were going to do something, I never thought it would be this great.
I like it when my dad comes home and he wants missing me. And I don't like it when it comes on my birthday. That's why I don't like him.
Kaitlin Dean joins us with sports.
Thanks, Jeff. Coming off its first A-10 victory of the season, the St. Bonaventure men's basketball team looked to make it 2 in a row against Charlotte. Let's look at the highlights.
Nope, not even close. See, all colors have wavelengths that are diffused by oxygen and nitrogen. Since blue is the shortest wavelength, it's diffused up to 10 times more.
Who taught you that?
Mommy?
By age 12, too many girls lose interest in math and science and their chance at future jobs. Keep her interest alive.
You know why mathematics is the basis of life as we know it?
You tell me.
It's her future. Do the math.
Coming off its first A-10 victory of the season, the St. Bonaventure men's basketball team looked to make it 2 in a row against Charlotte. Let's look at the highlights this time.
Bonnie's head coach Mark Schmidt was hoping his squad could carry over the momentum from a victory over Duquesne. In the first half, after missing a jumper, senior guard Tyler Ralph tapped the ball to senior forward Michael Lee, who nailed a three-pointer to put the Bonnies up 5. Then on the fast break, freshman guard Malcolm Elby set up classmate Matt Morgan for this slam dunk. The 49ers answered back here with a 3 from Lamont Mack to cut the Bonnies' lead to 2. Later in the half, with the Bonnies leading by 1, they extended the margin on a triple from freshman Hillary Haley. A minute later, another 3 from Ralph gave the Bonnies a 27-22 lead. Then this driving layup from Haley put St. Bonaventure up by 7, its largest lead of the game. Charlotte responded with a 13-0 run, capped off by a 3-pointer from Ian Anderson. On to the second half, where junior Delancey Carter rejected this layup attempt from Mack. With the score tied at 45, the 49ers' Leemeyer Goldwire knocked down a 3 to break the tie and put Charlotte on top. Goldwire continued his torrid shooting from long range to increase the 49er lead. But a lay-in from Morgan kept the Bonnies within striking distance. He finished 8 of 9 from the field with 17 points. However, the Bonnies were unable to find an answer to stop Goldwire. He scored 28 of his team's 47 points in the second half, going 12 for 17 from the field and 8 of 13 from behind the arc. St. Bonaventure shot 50% from three-point land in the second half, including 1 from junior Tyler Benson. Another trifecta from Lee would tie the score again at 68 all. With Charlotte hiding to a slim lead in the final minutes, the Bonnies missed opportunities at the free throw line to close the gap. Meanwhile, Goldwire stayed hot from the charity stripe as well, going 6 for 6 from the line in the final seconds. Goldwire finished with a career high and Atlantic 10 season best 39 points, as the 49ers earned an 87-83 victory over the Bonnies.
Two teams really competed against one another. The difference was, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that one out. Goldwire was just tremendous.
It was a close game, but I knew if I could make shots and kind of push the lead out, it would have been good for us.
As the game went on, it was obvious we wanted to get him as many touches as we could, and he responded.
On February 13th, the Bonnies remained winless on the road after an 81-56 loss at St. Joseph's. Next up, St. Bonaventure hosts George Washington and Temple at the Riley Center. The women's basketball team beat the Duquesne Dukes 69-66 for its 16th win of the season. 16 wins matches the Bonnies' all-time mark for the second straight season. The Olean Huskies paid a visit to the Allegany Limestone Gators on February 9th in a Big 30 high school basketball matchup. To the highlights we go.
Right off the tip, Olean senior Sam Moore gets the bucket and the foul. He hits the free throw to give the Huskies a quick 3-0 lead. Allegany junior captain Matt Domboski hits a three-pointer here to pull the Gators within 4. Later on in the first quarter, Allegany sophomore
Ben Giardini gets his layup blocked by Olean big man Jake Hausnick. Late in the first quarter, Hausnick sinks the hook shot to give the Huskies a 25-13 lead. Moore hits this tray ball to start the second quarter, giving Olean a 28-13 lead. With just under 4 minutes to go in the half, Hausnick fades away and gets the shot to fall off the feed from senior Chris White, putting Olean up 39-17. Throughout the second quarter, shooting woes plagued the Gators as Allegany couldn't get anything to fall through the iron. Here, Domboski misses a floater. Giardini can't hit this 18-footer, and sophomore Nate Keenan misses this step-through. He gets his own rebound but can't get the second-chance effort to fall. The Gators finally break through when they get 2 baskets in a row right before the half. Domboski hits a 3 to make it 47-20, and Keenan nails a long 2-point field goal to make the halftime score 52-22. In the third quarter, Hausnick makes a move and throws it down with some authority. Olean led 55-22. Later in the third quarter, Hausnick does it again as he gets the alley-oop pass from Sam Moore, giving the Huskies a 67-28 lead. Allegany senior Jake Wooderack gets the roll, but the Gators are still down by 37 points. With 2.5 minutes to play in the third, Olean goes to the bench, and that would be it. Olean wins 85-46.
The red-hot Buffalo Sabres entered their game with Toronto 7-0-2 in their last 9 games.
After a scoreless first period, the Maple Leafs began to really put the pressure on Sabres goalie Ryan Miller in the second. Miller made a sequence of saves as the Leafs continued to search for the game's opening goal on a power play opportunity. Buffalo tried to get on the board as well, but here the Sabres' Tim Connolly is robbed by Leafs goalie vs.Charlotte as he made a tremendous save. The game would remain scoreless into the third period. Buffalo finally struck first when Daniel Paille found Paul Gaustad alone in the front of the net. Gaustad caught Toscala leaning the wrong way and took advantage to give the Sabres the lead. With Toronto pressing for the tying goal, Miller was forced to continue to keep the Leafs at bay and preserve Buffalo's slim advantage. With less than 2 minutes left in the third, Toronto's Darcy Tucker got the puck behind Miller, but Sabres defenseman Henrik Telinder knocked it out of harm's way. Miller ended up with 35 saves on the night to record his third shutout of the season, as Buffalo skated off with the 1-0 victory.
That's been our biggest difference in this streak. Is we have a lot more involvement from everyone on the ice, and it makes goaltender's job a lot easier when you got everybody in front of you working towards the same goal on defense.
After visiting the Rangers, the Sabres host Pittsburgh and Tampa Bay before a rematch with the Leafs in Toronto. That's all for sports.
That's all for this edition of Sbu TV. I'm Jeff Landers.
And I'm Chelsea Eggleston. For Kaitlin, Dean, and all of us here at Sbu TV, have a great week.
Open NBC.